I guess 28 participants are there right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute.
I'll give you a brief introduction and then we will start, sir.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Dear students, today we all gather for this online webinar or industrial process and training. Last year also Jay sir gave us this information for your previous students, for your senior. And I'm really thankful to Jay sir because this year also he is ready for this session. And on behalf of Kusrawadi Institute of Technology, I am Shubhangi Verma, Faculty Advisor of IAS Student Chapter and Faculty of ENTC Department. Would like to welcome Jay sir for this online webinar on industrial process and training. The Jay sir is a proprietor as well as techno-commercial engineer in Thuse Electronics. So I welcome Jay sir for this session. Now I request Jay sir to continue or to begin with this session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a quick introduction. And now let us start. Let us start. Wait a minute. Is my PPT visible now? Can anyone just let me know?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. I'll just start the slide show and we can proceed further. Okay, so yeah, just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Jay Thuse. I have completed my engineering in electronics and telecom from PS Modern College of Engineering, Shivaji Nagar, back in 2019. And after I've passed out, I have joined my father's company, which is Thuse Electronics Pvt Limited. So the company was founded by my father back in 1989, and this year marks our 33rd anniversary. Like this year we have completed 33 years in business. So that is all just a quick introduction about me and our company. And today's topic, what basically I'm going to cover is a brief overview about EMS process and career opportunities. What career opportunities exactly do you have in India in this segment? So EMS basically means EMS basically means electronics manufacturing services. So under that, basically what we get to learn in colleges is all about circuits and design and everything like that. But once your design is complete, you need some person who can get your design manufactured and assembled as per your requirements. So we as a company play a crucial role in that. So under that, we have all these three segments, as you can see. So we support different other companies as a ODM customer, as a ODM suppliers or as OEM suppliers. What that means is under ODM, just to give you a brief idea about that, we take design specifications from our customers and we make the PCBs, we make the design, we get everything, we procure all the raw material, and we do the PCB assembly for our customers according to their design. And we do the testing of their design as well. So in that, we just take the design specifications of the customer as an input under ODM, which you can see on the first point. And the assembly is completed by us. All the raw material procurement lies in our scope. We do that. And under OEM, what typically happens is the design is of someone else. And typically that is generally a big company. For example, washing machine. I'll show you an example as well, what PCBs we make for ODM suppliers and as an OEM supplier. So in OEM, we manufacture the design for someone else and give the design to them. So under that, just the idea is of someone else's. We do the procurement for material. We do the PCB assembly. If required, we do the testing as well. And then whatever manufacturing we have done, whatever PCBs we have manufactured, those are dispatched to our company, to the customer. So as you can see on the second point, we are a total turnkey EMS provider. So when we talk about electronics manufacturing services, it basically covers up two things. One is turnkey approach and the other one is a job work approach. So under ODM and OEM, of course, the turnkey, whichever supplier you are, whether you are taking someone else's design and completing it fully, if you are an ODM, if that comes under ODM, then material procurement lies with us. If it is an OEM, which means design is of someone else's, then also material procurement lies with us. And in general, what turnkey means is all the necessary material, raw material, and whatever is required to get the assembly done, that we do. And the third business, what we do is job work business. So under that, the customer is supposed to give us their data. They are supposed to give us their bill of material. They are supposed to give all the material to us. We will just do the PCB assembly for them and give the fully assembled PCBs back to them as per their requirement. So yeah, as we were discussing, OEM business. OEM business is original equipment manufacturer business, and generally that is turnkey based. So whichever OEM and ODM business we take, that is generally turnkey based, as that business, to qualify, like if you are engaged in any business activity, to qualify it as an OEM activity or ODM activity, generally the end customer is generally a big company, a renowned one, typically a big automotive, as you can see in this third point, typically an automotive company like KPIT, or any other Tata Motors, let's say, for example, or any home appliance maker, like let's say IFB, Whirlpool, Videocon, all those companies like that. So that exactly is what comes under OEM business. So this what the card which you assembled card which you can see right here is an example of OEM business. So there is this company called as KPIT. So what KPIT is doing is they have recently ventured into electric vehicles, and they are offering electric bus solution of electric bus. So there, when considering automobiles, there is a component in an automobile which is called as engine control unit, ECU. So this assembly which you can see on my screen right now, it is a ECU for electric bus, and KPIT is the OEM, or I mean the original equipment manufacturer for this. So the design is theirs. Under our scope, we had to procure all these materials which you can see assembled on the PCB, and in the PCB as well, we had to assemble it, and we had to undergo some tests which they had specified us to do. So this is an example of what OEM exactly means. Next, as I was saying, ODM business. So we take the design specification, the design idea or the concept from the big customers or big companies who are willing to.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, first slide दिसते सर आम्हाला.
नाही, ऐकून आलं काय म्हटलं?
First slide दिसते सर.
First slide दिसते.
Brief overview of EMS process and career opportunities. this slide दिसते सर.
अच्छा, चेंज होत नाहीये. आता मी चेंज करतोय एकदम डायनामिकली, ते पण नाही दिसत आहे.
सर नाही सर, slides are not moving sir.
I don't know why. Because मी the slideshow mode मध्ये आणि I am presenting my screen.
सर on MS Team वर ना हे होत नाही. तुम्ही स्लाइड मोड वर गेलाय ना, त्याच्यामुळे ते स्लाइड दिसत नाहीये सर. इथून चेंज करा.
नाही, कसं होतं, इकडे एक हे शेअरिंग साठी एक ऑप्शन आला होता खाली, मी तो क्लिक केला आणि माझं विंडो मी तिकडे घेऊन गेलो पीपीटी वरती.
हो पण तिकडे चेंज होते, पण इथे होत नाहीये. इथे रिझ्यूम स्लाइड शो केला तरी चालेल सर, कारण की स्लाइड शो वाला विंडो शेअर नाही झाला. दी अदर विंडो इज शेअरिंग. PowerPoint window is sharing, but the slide mode is not sharing.
Okay. So you mean to say, आता तुम्हाला दिसतंय OEM business लिहिलेलं का नाही दिसत आहे?
नाही सर.
Why exactly is this happening?
Only share PowerPoint window sir.
या म्हणजे आता मी शेअर करताना माझं PowerPointचाच ऑप्शन सिलेक्ट केला होता, म्हणजे विंडो मध्ये.
Do not make it slide show.
ओके, बट आता एक्झॅक्टली तुम्हाला आता स्क्रीनवर काय दिसतंय?
नाही सर, काही आलं नाहीये. पीपीटी पण नाही आले. स्क्रीन नाही झाली सर शेअर. आधी झाली होती.
आता माझी स्क्रीन दिसते का तुम्हाला, ओव्हरऑल स्क्रीन?
येस सर.
ओके, आता तुम्हाला पीपीटी दिसते?
लोड होते सर.
ओके, फाईन. इंटरनेट कनेक्टिव्हिटी मुळे Can anyone just give me a feedback? Load झालंय का नाही झालं?
Yes, sir.
ओके फाईन. ठीक आहे, नो प्रॉब्लेम. मी परत सुरुवातीपासून घेतो जस्ट क्विक ह्याच्यामध्ये.
Yes, sir.
सो ॲज वी वर डिस्कसिंग, ब्रीफ ओव्हरव्ह्यू ऑफ EMS हा आपला आजचा विषय आहे. EMS बेसिकली मीन्स इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग सर्व्हिसेस, आणि त्याच्यामध्ये जे काही प्रोसेसेस इन्व्हॉल्ड असतात ते. आणि मग रिगार्डिंग दिस फील्ड जे काही करिअर ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज आपल्याला मिळतात, काय काय करिअर ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज असतात ते आपण डिस्कस करणार आहे आज. सो नाव यू आर एबल टू सी दिस स्लाइड, डिपेंडेबल EMS सोर्स आणि असं सगळं लिहिलेलं आहे ते.
Yes, students, can you see the slides?
No. No, ma'am.
Sir, can you share it once again?
Okay, wait a minute. आता अपियर झाले तुम्हाला?
No, sir. The slides are not visible. Sir, can you WhatsApp me?
हा, मी तेच म्हणणार होतो. आय कॅन जस्ट शेअर दिस PPT टू यू ऑन ईमेल सो दॅट यू
Yes,
कॅन
sir.
जस्ट डू दिस फॉर मी. जस्ट अ मिनिट. मॅम, कॅन यू जस्ट चेक? मी आता तुम्हाला ईमेल केलाय PPT.
Yes, sir. Received the PPT, sir. I got
Okay.
the PPT. I'll share it,
Fine,
sir.
fine.
Is the PPT visible to you, sir?
Yes, it is now visible.
Students, can you see the PPT? Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. Ma'am, are you like going to shift the slide one after the other, or you are going to enter into the slideshow mode? How are you going
Sir,
to?
I'll change the slide, sir. You just tell me.
Okay, fine.
Which slide? I'll change it, sir.
Fine then. So yeah, this is what we are going to discuss. Brief overview of EMS process. So can you just click on the second slide? Yeah. So this is what I was exactly discussing about. So when you talk about EMS is basically electronics manufacturing services. So what we learn as an ENTC engineers is how to design systems, but there needs to be someone who can get those designs manufactured as per your requirements and make sure that every like whatever idea you have in your mind, that exactly is brought into reality. So this is what we do. We are an EMS company, electronics. We offer electronics manufacturing services, and under that, as you can see, all these 4 points, we do like are this these are basically our business verticals. So we operate as a ODM and OEM supplier. So I was just explaining few minutes ago what these terms ODM and OEM mean. I'll just repeat those terms once again because there were some technical issues. So ODM basically means original design manufacturer. So under this, let's say under this approach of business, what exactly happens is we take the design specifications and design idea. We understand the idea from what exactly is to be done from our customer. We take the design specifications from them and we do the material procurement for them. We design the PCBs from them. We design the PCB. We get the PCBs manufactured. We buy all the electronic raw materials, electronic components needed for their particular product. We do the PCB assembly for them, and if required, after assembly, if we want to like do any kind of testing, we do that as well. That is how exactly ODM business operates. So yeah, under ODM, the design and original idea is of someone uh, else. We manufacture everything, we procure everything. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think because my voice was not reaching there, because I don't know what, there must be an issue. So I was explaining this ODM and OEM. Under ODM, we get to know what exactly the design requirement is. We completely buy the raw materials. We get the PCBs manufactured, and we do the PCB assembly. And if required, we get the testing done. This is what happens in ODM business. Under OEM, what happens is the idea is of someone else. They have the idea with them. They only tell us what exactly needs to be procured, how exactly that whatever electronic raw materials components we have procured, we need to get that assembly done, and if required, testing is done. So the difference between ODM and OEM is here design is done by us, only the idea is of someone else. Design is done by us, raw material procurement is done by us, and assembly is done by us. If required, testing is also done by us. And under OEM business, idea is of someone else, and the development is already done by them. We just have to procure the raw materials, do the assembly, and if required, we have to get the testing done. So that there exactly is the difference between ODM and OEM. And when you do EMS, basically, there are two approaches to get that thing done. So the first approach is turnkey EMS, and the other one is job work EMS. So when you talk about turnkey, that exactly means to get all the raw material procurement lies in under our hand. So that like whatever is needed, electronic components, PCBs, if required any wires, then if you have any special kind of requirements, let's say heat sinks, screws, or anything like that, we have to procure everything and we have to get the assembly done. And under job work EMS, our customer provides all the raw material needed for manufacturing. We just assemble the PCBs and we just assemble the product as per the instructions given by customer. That is exactly what is job work. So ma'am, can you just shift on the next slide?
Yes, sir.
So far, any doubts, any questions? Because we've been having a lot of interruptions in between. So do you have any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you for updating. So yeah, let's proceed further. So as I was discussing, original equipment manufacturing. Yeah. So when you talk about OEM and ODM, generally our customers are big companies who are like into automotive, let's say KPIT, Tata Motors, Bajaj, and all those big giants. And under home appliances, let's say IFB, the people who make washing machines, I mean companies who make washing machines, and those big customers. If we are catering our services to them, then that comes under OEM, ODM. So typically, the terms OEM and ODM are used only when the customer or the company to which we are offering our services is a big company. Preferably, it can be a multinational company, it can be a really huge established company. So that's how it is. So ma'am, can you just shift on the next slide? Yes. So this exactly what you can see right here is an example of what OEM activity we had done for a customer. So there is this company called as KPIT. They are into IT services and solutions. And along with that, they have even ventured out into electric vehicles as well. So KPIT has a daughter company called as Impact Auto Solutions. The company is based in Hinjawadi. And what exactly you can see on the screen, that is engine control unit for electric vehicles. So if you like consider petrol or diesel vehicles as well, there is this component in the vehicle called as engine control unit. So what the job of this engine control unit is to understand what exactly is the input being given by the driver. Let's say the driver has turned the steering, the driver has applied brakes, he has shifted the gears. Then the job of this ECU is to understand those commands and to get the activity done inside the engine basically. So engine comes into picture only when the vehicle is petrol driven or diesel driven. Under electric vehicles, the concept is something different. There exactly motors you have to drive. So this ECU, which you can see, we had done it as an OEM activity for KPIT, wherein the design is theirs. We had done each and every component which you can see on this assembled PCB that we had procured. We had assembled it for them, and they had instructed us to do some kind of special tests on this whatever assembly we do. So that we had completed. So this is an example of OEM activity which we had done. Ma'am, next slide, please. Yes, so ODM business, as I was explaining a few minutes ago, the concept or idea lies with someone else. The development, like when you have an idea, you have to first develop a prototype out of that idea, which establishes the proof of concept. Like this idea is makeable, this is doable. So the design development is being done by us, and mass manufacturing, once the design is approved, mass manufacturing is also done by us. So it's exactly like a complete box building solution is offered by us. So on the next slide, we can see an example of ODM activity which we do. Next slide, please. Yes. So the card which you can see right here on the screen, that is basically we are into like we have been designing and manufacturing the control cards or the controllers for motors inside washing machines. So washing machines operate on universal motors, and for those, uh, we have a tie-up with IFB, a very renowned company. Everyone knows they make washing machines, world-class washing machines. So the motor control unit for IFB that has been designed by us based on their input specifications, which they gave us. And once that is done, we have been producing this on a bulk quantity since then. And the procurement and everything lies with us, and testing of this card once it is assembled, and once it is like done, that as well lies with us. So next slide, please. Yes. So what OEM and ODM we have seen so far, that is only when big companies or huge, typically MNCs or giant companies, which you talk about. So when you're dealing with them, the business activity is referred to as either ODM or ODM, either ODM or OEM. And when it comes to some other companies, that is PCB assembly services. So under that, we give job work we offer our setup as a job work facility, wherein the raw material is given to us by the customer. We assemble it for them, or as a turnkey, like the design is with the customer. Design originally is with the customer. Procurement of material lies with us, and we do the assembly and if required testing. And under job work, only we have to assemble, and if required, we have to do the testing. So that is a purely labor charge based activity. We have to estimate how much time would we need in order to get a particular job work activity done, and accordingly we have to get through with our customer for the commercials. So ma'am, next slide please. Yes, so this is exactly what different PCB assemblies look like. So that differs. Like when you talk about PCB assemblies, there are two types of components which we come across. One is the SMT components, which are very small in size, and the other are through-hole components, which are often referred to as leaded components. So on these images, you can see a mixture of both of those components. So this is what exactly we do for different customers. We offer our job work service. We offer as a turnkey service as well. Yeah. So next slide, please, ma'am. Yes. So in just a few minutes, I will brief you exactly how our processes be like. So by this time, I guess everyone has got a fair idea of what exactly OEM business is, what exactly is ODM business, what exactly is job work activity and turnkey activity. So how is our company structured, or what exactly do we have because of which we are able to conduct this business? So this is what it is. So as I was in the last slide, as I was explaining, the assemblies, electronic assemblies, in electronics assemblies, you have SMD components, which are very small in size, and leaded or through-hole components, which are pretty much large in size. So considering SMD components, those can't be really placed by hand. You can't really hand solder, you can't really take SMD components, and you can't say, "Hey, this is my PCB, assemble those components by hand soldering." You can't do that. So for that, we have the special setup, in which first stage is the ICRA automatic printer stage, which you can see right after the start. What exactly that this machine does is it pastes the solder paste on the PCB where exactly you have to get the SMD components to be placed. Then comes the Juki automatic pick and place machine, in which the SMD components are fed into the machine, and the machine is programmed to, like, where exactly on the PCB do you want a particular component to be placed. So the machine is programmed accordingly to pick the components from the feeder and to place them on the PCB where exactly you want it to be. So this is all about picking and placing, but that doesn't really get through with the assembly. So you need a reflow oven stage after that. So what exactly in reflow oven stage is done is the card which is assembled, the PCB which is just assembled, the components which are just assembled on the PCB, that is passed through the reflow oven, wherein we have 7 different zones in which temperature is maintained. Different temperature zones are maintained, and we make sure that the soldering happens inside. Soldering of SMD components happens inside it, and whatever cards come out of the reflow, we make that ensures that the SMD components are successfully soldered on the PCB. That's how it is. So after that, you have two machines which you can see: VI technology AOI machine and Kyoritsu ICT machine. So basically, AOI machine is basically what like as I was explaining. Once the assembly is done, there is a particular inspection which needs to be done. So that can be either a manual inspection, like you take a particular PCB, you observe it under a magnifying lens whether all the components have been placed correctly or not, and that is one way out. But that way doesn't really work every time. So in that case, you need to have a machine based approach for it, and that AOI basically serves that purpose. Under AOI, you pass the PCB inside the AOI machine, and the AOI machine basically needs to be programmed. Like a reference assembly needs to be given to it, and based on that, programming needs to be done to inspect all the other PCBs which will enter into it, so that it will be able to, on microscopic level, check each and every component whether the placement has been done correctly or not. So followed by that, ICT is a particular stage wherein electrically we verify. So AOI is all about automatic inspection, automatic optical inspection. ICT is exactly where the electrical, like on electrical level, the PCB assemblies are checked whether they are operating correctly or not, or whether the assembly has happened correctly or not. So AOI stands for automatic optical inspection, and ICT stands for in-circuit tester. So all these stages which we have come across so far, the ACRA automatic printer, Juki pick and place machine, reflow oven, AOI, ICT, that is all about SMD assemblies. And when it comes about through hole assemblies, you need to have a manual approach. So over there exactly, you have a conveyor. Typically, you can see that particular operators working a conveyor-based approach wherein PCBs are taken, components are fit onto those PCBs, and then there is a wave soldering machine through which the PCB is passed, and it makes sure that the assembly is completely soldered onto the PCB. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. And if required, post this wave soldering, if someone demands, yeah, I want the AOI and ICT to be done after that as well, fine, we can get that done as well. And we can also have traceability for it. So whatever production is happening, let's say I have to make 100 PCBs today. So I can have a barcode based traceability wherein I will paste barcode stickers on the PCB, and the production history of that particular PCB will be recorded on that barcode. So that way we can maintain traceability. So that's pretty much all about it. End of line testing, as you can see, after ICT, that basically involves testing, as I was saying, before dispatching, before making sure that you give this, before giving away whatever you have done to the customer. End of line testing is exactly where you make sure that everything is working perfectly and everything is fine. That's all about it. So ma'am, can we just go to the next slide? Yeah, so this is just about if you want to have the machines, if you want to see the machines in detail, everything, this is what we have. The Juki machine is basically capable of doing assemblies of 20,000 components per hour. And basically this slide basically sums up all the machines and features of different machines. So next slide, please. Ma'am, next slide, please.
Yes, sir, it's there on screen. Can you see?
Yeah. It is loaded now.
Yes.
So apart from all these assemblies, we have few other test equipments as well, few important test equipments. So the one which you can see right now is a EMIEMC tester by a company called as Hafley. So what is EMIEMC? I'm sure you guys must have learned about electromagnetic interference. So when you make PCB assemblies, electromagnetic interference is an issue which you have to deal with. And if you don't deal with that, then that becomes a pretty much of a problem when your PCB assembly is taken on field. Like when basically when you install that particular PCB assembly wherever it is needed, and if you don't take care about electromagnetic interference which is happening, it can create a lot of troubles in the circuit. It can even cause the components to get blown up, and different problems can occur. So in order to make sure that the machine, the whatever assemblies you're doing, it is at par with whatever electromagnetic interference comes, and whatever rules and regulations are there regarding that. We have this setup for it where you can just get the PCB connected to this machine, and you have to check whether the assembly is sustainable to electromagnetic interference and to different surges, voltage spikes, and everything like that. So there are, as you can see, there is this standard IEC 61000044 and IEC 61000045. These are two different standards for EMI and EMC testing. So the machine basically is used to get the testing done and getting evaluation of the PCB assembly done. So can we just move to the next slide? Yeah. So along with EMI EMC machine, what we have over here is a programmable AC and DC source, wherein we can give different waveforms. We can generate different waveforms, whether it be sinusoidal, triangular, square, whatever. So by using this machine, we can generate different waveforms and we can give that as an input to the PCB assembly, whatever we have done. And we can just check whether it is whatever, in case of any disturbance in the input power supply to the PCB, your PCB is able to, or your PCB assembly is able to sustain or not. That is all about this machine. So ma'am, next slide, please. Yes. So before we talk about career opportunities, I just want to make sure that everyone has understood, or is there any questions regarding whatever we have discussed so far? Can anyone just give me an idea whether whatever we have seen so far, is it clear, or I need to repeat anything?
If you don't have any questions, students, say. Sir, no questions. Yes, students.
Sorry. Fine. I guess there are no questions. We can keep questions. Okay, fine. No questions, then that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, talking about career opportunities, what career opportunities do you get over here? So the first what you can see is assembly line operator. So if you remember a few slides back ago, we had seen all the machines and all the setup, and there you had seen human operators sitting on the line and getting the assembly done. So that is a career opportunity in this particular industry. Then machine operator, all those machines, heavy machines which you have seen, those need to be operated by equipped, and those need to be operated by skilled operators, and you need to get a particular kind of training. You need to have a particular kind of training and knowledge in order to operate those machines. So machine operator, we need people for machine operation as well. Testing, as I said, we involve various kinds of tests to be done. So we need testing people for getting the testing done for whatever assemblies are happening. Embedded developers, I'm sure everyone must be aware of what exactly embedded developer is. So basically taking microcontrollers and microprocessors and being able to design different products around it, being able to design prototypes and products based on that. So that is a good career opportunity in EMS. Followed by that, sales and marketing. That I don't really need to brief about what exactly that is. And content writer. So especially as everyone knows, we are living in the age of internet. So if you don't have any presence over internet, you can't really survive. So we need content writers for that. We need people to get through with us with our social media handles and everything like that. So that as well is a interesting career opportunity which we have. So yeah, that's pretty much all about it. EMS, we have seen EMS, we have seen its career opportunities. That's all from my side, and that's all. If anyone has any questions, I'm open to it. Thank you.
Any questions, students? If you have any questions.
Any kind of question. So what exactly I can do is I can even email. I will. We have a factory tour video of our factory. Like in that video, we are showing in-depth detailing of each and every process. So since you guys are operating from home, I can just share that video with ma'am as well. So ma'am can circulate that video to everyone so that you can just recall whatever we have discussed so far.
Yes, sir. So I have already shared your YouTube video on our Edmodo
Okay.
classroom.
Okay, the factory tour video, is it?
Yes, sir. That YouTube
Okay.
video.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
That's all. That's pretty much all about it.
Yes, sir. So student have the product manufactured by your company. They have gone through your website also. Yes, students,
Okay.
have you gone through the website? Yes or no? Yes, Dhruv, Rishikesh, Tejaswini Vakre, have you gone through the website of Thuse Electronics? Unmute your device and tell me yes or no.
No, ma'am.
Okay, what about others?
Fine, no problem. You can just type in www.thuse.net and have a look at the website.
Yes, any questions, students? If you don't have any questions, just let us know. Say no questions or write down the no questions, no queries in chat box. Okay. Prakash Singh is saying no questions, ma'am. So students has understood everything. They don't have any questions.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Anyways,
Uh,
you can even get like if you don't wish to like ask questions right now, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn and other platforms, and you can even get in touch with me there. You can ask your questions. I'll be open to answering everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us your precious time. As you're working in industry, we can understand there are so many issues and lots of
Yes.
things going on, and you are taking some time and giving information, sharing your experience with our students. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So we will stop here then. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.